Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank it with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Every member of the 110er's gang was here at Tulane and Broad today. 11 of the suspected gang members still do not have attorneys. That's a big problem. Judge Tracy Flemings Davalier pushed back this hearing to try to determine counsel to July 12th. A lot of people tell us it's going to be very problematic as all of these 15 gang members have to be tried together. So getting individual representation is a problem. More at 4, 5, and 6.
Late yesterday afternoon, in this very room, the Orleans Parish Grand Jury returned a 51-count indictment against 15 very violent criminals. This indictment against the 110er's street gang is, to my knowledge, the largest and most sweeping state court gang indictment in the history of New Orleans. As detailed in the indictment, the 110er's, which is an umbrella organization of a collection of smaller street gangs that operated mainly in the 10th and the 11th wards of the city of New Orleans, are responsible for 15 murders from 2008 to the present, including the very tragic murder of young Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce. 10 of these murders are listed as substantive counts in the indictments, and the other 4 are listed as overt acts in furtherance of the gang's criminal enterprise. The investigation began late in the summer of 2012 as a cooperative effort between the District Attorney's Office and the New Orleans Police Department Homicide Unit.
May 29th last year was a beautiful afternoon in the city of New Orleans. A birthday party was shattered by the cruel, cowardly behavior of who we now have learned to be members of the 110 gang. Just that short afternoon, we recognize how dangerous and fragile things can be when gangs operate without any fear. Our homicide detectives and intelligence detectives immediately began working that case in the summer of 2012. Working closely with the District Attorney's Office, it became crystal clear that this group was larger than what we had originally thought.
Breaking news involving the murder of a 5-year-old girl and a mother of 3. Emotions ran high this afternoon as a judge imposes sentences in Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce's killings. Rob Masson is live at Orleans Parish Criminal Court with the latest.
And Nancy, Mayor Landrieu and Police Chief Michael Harrison appeared in court personally today for today's sentencing. This was a culmination of a major gang enforcement action against members of the 110er's gang who were involved in a very high-profile murder in Central City 3.5 years ago. The mayor emerged from these steps calling this a sad day for the city of New Orleans, but an important one. That just moments after Judge Tracy Davalier imposed multiple life sentences on Tyron Harden, Sam Newman, and Damon Sandifer for their roles in a 2012 shootout on Simon Bolivar that caused the deaths of 5-year-old Brianna Allen and Shawana Pierce, a mother of 3. The sentences were imposed in spite of pleas of leniency since 2 of the defendants were 16 years old at the time of the murders.
We waited 3.5 years for this. Was it what? 42 months we waited, 42 months and 17 days since my sister's been murdered. We're very pleased with the outcome. It took a while, but yeah, we're happy.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. MOBB TIES. We on our way to Louisiana with it. The NO, New Orleans. Chopper City in the ghetto. All my niggas from the NO, y'all get in the comment box. Y'all know how we run it. Now, today we are going to be talking about a group by the name of the 110er's gang. And for those not familiar with this specific gang, in 2013, according to WDSU and Nolia.com, the street gang was indicted in the most sweeping indictment in New Orleans, Louisiana history, and that was according to city leaders. And that would lead to an onslaught of indictments against gangs similar to this one in the city of New Orleans. Now, for those of y'all not familiar with New Orleans, it's pretty much a city where murder makes you famous. And with that being said, your life is almost on the line every day, depending on what part of the city you coming up in. And this specific group was in the 10th and 11th wards, and they were comprised of several different smaller gangs. Now, according to the indictment, they're going to say in and around 2008, a criminal street gang called the 110er's formed in New Orleans' Lower Garden District. Now, the 110er's consisted mostly of males in their late teens and early 20s, and its territory centered around the River Gardens apartments. Now, the 110er's was comprised of 3 sub-gangs: the St. Thomas Youngins, or STY, the St. Mary Mafia, or SMM, and the Skull Squad Mafia, or SMM. Now, this gang kind of reminds me of some gangs that we covered in the past, namely the Hobos in Chicago, where several different gang members would link up to form a different gang or super gang and pretty much have almost influence and leverage within those certain gangs for this one gang. And I also seen it in Detroit, where some gangs look like, I want to say, linked up against the Red Zone Bloods at one point in time. And it's going on all across America, where subsets linking up to form one big set. But the one difference with this that I've seen is this is the first case where I've seen a father testify against a biological son, or his biological son. And not only that, he testified against his stepson, implicating them in a crime involved in the indictment that I would say was the cause of the indictment. Now, don't get me wrong, anytime you have any kind of violence associated with whatever you're doing, any kind of money getting operation, that is going to bring authorities way faster than anything you doing with getting money. Now, with that being said, the incident that I'm talking about is the murder of 5-year-old Brianna Allen and 33-year-old Shawana Pierce in May of 2012 in Central City. Now, the indictment also listed 4 other murders as overacts and furtherance of the gang's criminal enterprise, and they were charged with upwards of 10 murders in this indictment. Though police would say that the investigation grew out of other investigations of several isolated incidents of violent crimes in the 10th and 11th wards. Now, in November of 2012, the formation of the multi-agency gang unit was formed to help in furthering the investigation. Now, Leon Canizero would go on to say that the people of New Orleans are witnessing a rebirth of their criminal justice system. The level of cooperation between law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal, is unprecedented. Even though the police referenced that the investigation started due to isolated incidents, I have to think that this made that gang a top priority. Now, the gunfire that killed Brianna Allen was not meant for her. It was meant for a rival group of gang members, but struck and killed Brianna Allen, who was standing on the porch of a home in the 1200 block of Simon Bullard Avenue, celebrating her 10-year-old cousin's birthday party. Stray gunfire would also fatally wound Shawana Pierce, who was struck in the forehead by bullets block away while driving to return a rental car in the Central Business District. Now, the 110er's gang was said to have been involved in a violent turf war with other gangs, including the Get Money Boys from the 12th Ward and the Young Melf Mafia from the 3rd Ward, who prosecutors would say were the intended targets on the evening Allen and Pierce lost their lives in that gun barrage. Now, it would be almost 3 years later, in January of 2015, when Antonio Big Rico Johnson would take the stand and testify of how his son, stepson, and 2 of their friends opened fire on an unsuspecting group of partygoers in Central City on May 29th, 2011. Now, Big Rico, dressed in black prison garb, who sat opposite from his son, Damon Little D. Sandiford, and his stepson, Sam Lil Newman, while telling jurors that the 2 men and their co-defendant, Tyron T7 Harden, were members of a violent 10th and 11th Ward street gang known as the 110er's. The 3 gang members would end up receiving a life sentence for their parts in the shootout. Now, the group was named in a sprawling 34-page racketeering indictment that would lead to jail sentences for the rest of the gang. Now, after this gang, or in the midst of this gang being indicted, the New Orleans Police Department pretty much used this same blueprint or tool against a lot of other organizations that came after them or right along the same times. And we're going to kind of dive in and get into that a little bit later for y'all. But y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. Y'all hit the bell right under this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. Shout out to the NO. Y'all flood the comment box. Y'all direct message me, y'all tweet me, y'all email me, y'all text me, y'all CC me, y'all call me, y'all stop me in the street. However y'all want to do it, I'm here for all of that shit. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Popalot. It's the mob. Mob.